People is Snake Talk here.
Wow.
With you is Brian Barczyk.
That's you.
That's me. And Jay Tomsky.
That's me.
That's you. How are you guys doing tonight? I hope you guys have a good night tonight. I hope you're having a good day. Memorial weekend for us Americans out there.
Heck yeah.
I guess the other part of the world just doesn't have a holiday this weekend.
So
it's just too bad. So I'm looking forward to having a little bit. It's supposed to be a beautiful weekend, by the way. Was today nice? I literally been inside all day. Was today
Same,
nice?
I honestly. Like, it was, I mean, I was outside just before, so it's beautiful out. I mean,
Okay,
it's like
so it's good out today. Okay.
warm, but nice chilly breeze. Really pretty
okay,
out.
cool. Yeah, I literally have been in the reptarium since 8:30 this morning and have not stepped outside for anything.
For even
And
a
it's
blink.
been busy.
Yeah.
And of course, it'll be busy for the rest of the night too, but that's okay. But looking forward to taking a little time with the family for the holidays, so that's going to be really good. What are you doing, Jay?
I don't know yet. I might just go doing some animal tracking, go look for some fox. I've been looking for a fox for about a year and a half, and I haven't found one. So we're closing in, baby.
All right, good. Well, obviously, thank you guys for joining us in the chat room. You guys are always killing it, and I appreciate you guys. It's always good to see people. I see that. Let's not read that.
Yeah.
I saw the Jerica super chat. I just wanted to say thank you, Jerica. Won't read that aloud because we just don't want drama. But
want to stir it.
But thank you. And when was her birthday? Is her birthday? Well, happy birthday to you.
This week, tomorrow. Tomorrow's her birthday.
Tomorrow is your birthday.
So happy
early birthday. So I hope that you have an absolutely amazing birthday. Obviously, if you guys have a super chat, keep us going here. We appreciate it. I just got off another podcast that I did that wasn't live, but it's Rude Dog Reptiles. It'll
That's
be
awesome.
out. I think it'll be out within the next week or so. So I just spent 2 hours talking to Rudy,
and now
we're hanging here and talking to you guys. So lots going on though, as always. You guys know that we have a million items in the fire and stuff like that. So getting pretty deep into the breeding season. Colubrids are really starting to pump out now too, which is cool. It seemed weird, like. We've been getting a lot of ball python clutches, but it almost seemed like we were getting were we getting to the end of the ball python? I don't even know why I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
But then today I went through and checked every ball python, and we're like a quarter.
I was going to say we should have probably another 80 to go, right? 70, 80 to go.
Probably almost close to 100 more clutches.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, because me and you were talking earlier, and you're like, yeah, I hope I can get this. I'm like, I feel like we're going to be all right.
Yeah, we have about 100 more clutches to be laid. So, we should get some good stuff. And of course, this week, I'm really looking forward to this. We talked about it before that we filmed the egg cutting this year differently than we had ever done before. And what I mean by that, and for those you guys that heard, you'll hear again, but we filmed one video rather than the video being I collected the eggs and then
but that's just part of another video.
Part of another, and then 60 days later you see egg cutting, and then 5 days later you see them out of the egg, and then maybe or may not show them after shed, stuff like that. We decided to shoot all of the egg cuttings this year, or at least the majority of the eggs cuttings this year, where it'll be an all-in-one video. So it starts with us pulling the clutch of eggs, then it goes to me taking them to the incubator, actually midway through checking the eggs to see if they're still good and if they're having any issues, and then ultimately taking them out of the incubator, coming to the reptarium and cutting them, and then showing them hatch 4 or 5 days later, and then ultimately showing them shed. So one video will be the entire journey from egg laying to actually shedding.
The baby when it would go on the website, roughly, pretty much.
And the reason, both Jay and I kind of, talked about this earlier, and, it would almost be impossible, especially how it was last year when we cut, 80 clutches and collected, 80, 90 clutches of eggs. Well, on the vlog, we had way more clutches that we didn't collect on the vlog. But still, it'd be almost impossible for someone to remember 60 days, or maybe you missed that day. And then once, I always tell people when we cut eggs, and it's weird because people seem to love it. We did a community poll today on YouTube where it asks, do you like egg cutting or egg collecting or whatever the case is? And still, vast majority of people said egg cutting was their favorite thing.
Yeah.
But, when we cut 70, 80 clutches, it really, by the end, I think people are just bored with it. And the other thing is that it's really difficult for someone that doesn't do this every day like I do to see a little window in a snake and go oh, okay, that was a bamboo bumblebee, vanilla. Whereas now in the video, you'll be able to see that I say that, but then you'll actually be able to see the actual animal out of the egg.
And the parents,
in the next
everything.
scene.
You know what I mean? Like, you're going to see the parents. You're going to see the eggs come out. Like, it's so much cooler. I agree.
Yeah, so I'm super excited about how this whole thing will pan out, and we obviously are just today shot the last of the
last slice of the first one.
So now we can put it on a timeline this coming week and see what it looks like, film some through stories so that, because it's obviously, not going to be an entire vlog, just those
of
things.
The day,
it's going to be, most of the vlog, but there will have to be some other pieces that are inserted into it. So this is the first time we've done it, so we don't really know what it's going to look like, but I'm pretty excited about it, and I hope that you guys like the change of how we do it. And then we're working on another video that's even going to take longer to take the journey of a snake egg all the way through the end of hatch, which we're starting to work on that, and that'll take us probably about 3.5 months to film one video. So we're trying to put a lot more thought into that type of stuff. So I hope that you guys will enjoy it and see what happens for her. What does Maria have to say?
Maria said, "What is the biggest clutch of the year so far?"
By the way, hi Maria.
Hi Maria.
I think that we had, ball python wise, I think the biggest clutch was 11 eggs.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think we had 11 eggs so far.
Then colubrids was like what, 24?
Yeah, we had like in the low 20s colubrid wise so far this year. And I think we had a spotted python that did like 22 as well. But ball python wise, I think it's been 11 eggs. I mean, typically, I think my biggest clutches ever are like 13, 14 eggs.
Those are those are large clutch.
Yeah, and I've heard of people having 15, 16. I think the record I've ever heard of was 17 eggs. Again, I don't know if it's accurate or not, if they, if someone actually had 17 eggs, but I think it's possible.
Yeah.
But
it's a lot though. Could you imagine seeing that?
Yeah, that would be dope, But 15 eggs I think is achievable.
Yeah.
That's a monster clutch of eggs, but I think it is achievable. I think my biggest clutch was 14. It might have been 15, but I know I've done 14 a number of times.
Right.
15, I don't know that I've ever breached that. And then of course the largest clutch, I've said this before, largest clutch of eggs I've ever had ever laid was a Burmese python named Clea, and she laid 97 eggs.
So crazy.
Yeah, 97 eggs. It was a bummer.
I know.
Because she came so close to 100. You know, I mean, it was like 3 eggs away from 100.
Yeah, it's like the Betty White.
Yeah, it's like
exactly. You're like, no.
I know.
It's 30 more days. That is awesome. And it's crazy to think that Burms can lay eggs like that.
Well, I mean, hence the reason why they're so invasive in Florida.
It's such a problem. I mean, so quick.
Like, it's like you get 5 females laying eggs, and within 5 years you have thousands and thousands of babies. I mean, it's exponential. It's much like leopard geckos. They don't lay ginormous clutches of eggs, but the reproductive cycle is so quick, right?
Yeah.
So basically with the leopard gecko, you get anywhere from they lay 2 eggs at a time, but they'll lay sometimes up to, a really good female lay 10 clutches.
Wow.
Most of them lay 5 to 7 clutches.
Right.
But so you're getting somewhere between 10 and 20 babies a year. But those babies will be laying eggs before they hit their first birthday.
Are you for real? I did not know that.
So like we grew it was interesting because of course now we don't produce as many leopard geckos because we downsized our colony and downsized again this year. Last year we produced just over 800 eggs, leopard gecko wise, which means that we produced about 800 babies because there's the
hatch rate.
The success rate on hatch is really high on geckos. Typically, you might lose 1 or 2% type of thing. So if we have 800 eggs, we're going to hatch 790 eggs or something like that. But I think we had more than 800 eggs, and we hatched a little over 800 babies last year. I told Jessica to shoot for 600 babies this year, so we're going to down at about 200. And what we're trying to do is like increase the quality of our production each year.
Right.
It reduced the quantity of our production. But my point is that at our peak, we had 9,000 baby leopard geckos.
That was the first year I was here, I think, right? Because there was like so many leopard geckos.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But my point is that I literally grew my colony from 200 total leopard geckos.
Right.
I grew up from that to 9,000 babies in 3.5 years.
Really?
And that wasn't buying more. I started with 200.
Yeah, right.
I started with 200 leopard geckos total, and in the 4th breeding season, I was producing 9,000 babies.
That's insane.
And so when you think about the fecundity of a Burmese python being probably average 40 eggs very commonly 50, 60 eggs, and rarely 70, 80, 90 eggs. It's hard to not imagine that a group of 10, 12, 15 females can't literally get into the hundreds of thousands of animals in Florida within a matter of a decade.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it does take longer for a Burmese python to get to adulthood, and I would imagine that. It's interesting. I wonder what they're eating in the wild. In Florida. I mean, I know they're eating like some of the rat species because there's a couple species of endangered rats down there that the population apparently has dropped. No one really knows for sure. But
you think any like key deer or anything like that?
I think maybe key deer definitely is a possibility. I think that there's a lot of wild boar down there.
There's a lot of wild boar.
So I think the bigger animals can eat on that. But I'm wondering what goes from small mice, understood. Medium, probably some rats, but where's that bridge animal from like rats to pigs, or wild boar? Because
they have rabbits in Florida, right? They gotta have rabbits in Florida.
Yeah, I guess rabbits might be the way to
some
go.
Rabbits,
yeah. And
or some birds, a couple.
Yeah,
birds.
I guess birds too. Yeah.
Lots of birds. I mean, they could eat egrets all day.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that all how that process has went in Florida.
Has anyone done like a really in-depth like documentary in the Everglades like nowadays with ecological stuff going on? And
no, I don't think so. I think there's
cool.
been some like USGS surveys and stuff like
research,
that is a little bit like, I know like there was one survey that was really highly touted as like the proof that the Burmese pythons were hurting the Everglades. But literally what it was is like every 5 years they would just like drive a truck down the Everglades road and then count how many of these rats they see on the trip.
Right. And then they're like, well, we've seen 1,000 less.
Exactly. And they said they saw a dramatic drop off of the rats that they had seen on this drive. And there's could have been a hotter day, could have been a colder day, could have been,
That's how surveying is, though. It's like they take like a 4 yardsticks taped together, throw it, and then count everything in that square, Well,
interestingly enough, there's a Jefferson's newt. You want to punch it up? It's pretty cool. It's Jefferson's newt. It's here in this is an animal that's here.
This fella here?
Yeah, that's one. That's it's in Michigan.
That's super cool.
I don't know where else it's found, but it's in Michigan, and they went on the heavily protected list because they thought that they were on the brink of like extinction.
Yeah.
And the thing was that they were looking for them the wrong time of the year.
No way.
And if you go
so
out, so weirdly enough, when you go nuding.
Yeah.
Some people don't know what nuding is. And I don't mean going nude.
Nude beach. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
I love it.
When you go nuding, it's actually usually the third week in March. So there's usually still ice on the ground when you go nuding. But if I had a friend of mine, this is years ago, right? It was about a year after they had done the survey and put them on this, the like heavily protected list here in Michigan. And he took me out to show me where he knew where they were from. And it was like the third week of March, still a little bit of ice on the ground, a little bit of snow on the ground.
Good
and
melt.
there was legitimately, within 2 hours, we saw 10,000 of them.
You got to be kidding me.
I mean, I'm talking like the ground was crawling with them.
Wow.
If you weren't careful, you were stepping on them. That's how many newts they were.
That's incredible.
And that was just when they came out and they started to spawn. And
all that snow melt helps them a lot. Yeah, for sure.
And so my point is that that's oftentimes how these surveys go, is that they do these bizarre
poor
surveys.
Research, pretty much.
Yeah, poor research, and then it's like, yep,
they're endangered, protect it, and then it's
now don't get me wrong. The Burmese pythons is a real issue in Florida. I mean, it's I don't know. My gut feeling is that listen, the whole Florida thing's so messed up, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't just have Burmese pythons. You had, I mean, we saw that, what were they, Eclectus parrots? That a whole colony of them flying around.
I couldn't imagine what kind of mammalian life. The fish life is crazy.
The fish life. I mean, there's more Oscars in the canals.
Lionfish.
Than there. Yeah, lionfish are all over the place.
Yeah, and like my mom lives down there. She sees that stuff all the time.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just a mess. But I do wonder if the ecosystem will eventually kind of level itself out.
Interesting.
And if you think about like maybe how animals, like let's say crocodile, saltwater crocodile,
right.
that was like, initially from from Australia. And then, they can swim, and then, maybe a group of them eventually go to PNG, Papua New Guinea, and now they're native to Papua New Guinea. Does that mean that, and this has happened tens of thousands of years ago, now we just think that they're native? I mean, will Burmese pythons 10,000 years just be a native species to
Probably,
Florida,
yeah, because there'll be animals that don't predate them now that will. Like hawks will learn, like, hey, there's a bunch of Burmese pythons on this riverbank. Let's start eating them,
Yeah.
And, things that are predated by Burmese pythons will learn ways to get away from them,
Right.
I mean, I was watching Brian in the Wild last night, subtle plug.
Geez.
You were talking about the elephants and how some of them have stopped growing tusks, right?
Yep, tuskless elephants.
And that's within what? I mean, a couple thousand years,
Yeah, what was happening is that that was an interesting case study where really what happened with that was a man-made thing, really.
That's fine, yes.
What happened was, people were killing the large tusk elephants.
Right.
So large tusk elephants is an inherent gene.
Right.
So what was happening was humans were killing off large tusk elephants, so only short tusk elephants were breeding.
Yeah.
And so now all of a sudden there's hardly any long tusk elephants left, just in a matter of a generation or two.
Isn't that crazy? Obviously that's terrible, but I find it very interesting, and I think a similar thing will happen because, we're not killing the rats, the berms are, but we put the berms there. So, like, I think it'll cause the ecosystem, like you said, to level itself out.
Shift some. And what was interesting about that big tusker thing, we're in a place called Tembe Elephant Park at the time, and it had more lions than it had elephants, I think, to be honest with you, as well as they had like kudu and
cool.
nyala and stuff like that, which are antelopes. But so we went. There was a blind there by a watering hole, and well, first off, we went there and we went out in the morning, and we shot some of the best footage I think that we shot on that whole trip that morning. We went on a trip to the other side of the park, which was probably about a 45-minute drive, because the wildlife biologist that had been studying big tusk elephants said that they normally would be drinking at the water hole at dusk or at dawn. I mean,
right.
And so we went out at like 4 a.m. to get out there so that when the sun came up, and this is that part, you just watched it so you'll know what I'm talking about, where the lions came out and start like mock charging the water buffalo.
What a cool thing, like a family of lions, or the Cape buffalo.
Yeah, Cape buffalo. And so there were no elephants at that dam. There was a rhino. There was one rhino, a lot of water or Cape buffalo, and then ultimately lions came, and we were able to shoot this really dynamic scene of lions mock chasing, like where the female lions were teaching the babies how to hunt. So they were allowing them to mock charge the Cape buffalo. In the Cape buffalo, you would think like, oh, the Cape buffalo are easy takedown. Cape buffalo are one of the most dangerous animals in Africa,
and their horns are scary.
And I mean, those lions have no chance against that Cape buffalo, especially not a herd. But what's interesting, and we did see a little bit of it in this footage as well, is that what happens with the Cape buffalo is that they're in a herd, right? There's 50 of them or something like that, 30, 40 of them, whatever it is. And so really they're very protected. I mean, there's no way that a lion can get there without another one coming to its savior or something like that. But what ends up happening is that eventually, if the lions continue to charge and charge and charge, the Cape buffalo kick one of their buffalo out.
Oh, and they're just like, here, take Kevin. He sucks anyway.
Yeah, they're just like, he's gone. And now he's on his own, and he's our sacrifice. Now, that didn't happen in this case. We were kind of hoping, not that I wanted to see an animal die,
of course.
but we were hoping we could capture it because it was just such an amazing thing. But in this case, they were literally just trying to teach their 1-year-olds, the adult lioness were trying to teach their 1-year-old cubs how to charge and mock charge and do all kinds of other stuff with the Cape buffalo. So anyways, point is that we got back to camp. After the whole reason we were there, we wanted to see big tusk elephants because it tied into another part of elephants that we shot earlier in the documentary, and so we needed big tusk elephants, and that was when we went to Bella Bella Adventures with Elephants.
Okay.
And that's when they found like the apple and stuff like that, and really amazing experience there too. So we really wanted this shot, so we went to a blind in Tembe, right not far from camp, maybe like 15 minutes from camp. And we sat there like for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And again, this was everything was like very tight schedule. So this was our last day. tons of Nyala and different antelope were coming to this watering hole, but no elephants. And so we're sitting there for like 3 hours, no elephants. Now it's getting to the heat of the day, so we think there's very little chance we're going to see elephants, maybe till dusk or something like that. So myself and half the crew went back to camp to have lunch, and we get radioed, get back here right now, get back here right now. Yeah. And we come back, and sure enough, this herd of big tusk elephants come. Wow. And thankfully we got there right as just a couple were out, and then a few more, and then we got shots of them fighting each other with the tusks, and it was just a really pretty special moment to be there. Now it was interesting. One thing that happened during that trip is I went out with my buddy Clint, who we'll see if we go down to South Africa again.
Hell yeah.
He's down in KZN, and he's very well connected guy. And we went out in his truck. So interestingly enough, have you ever, sand forests?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, we have some sand forests here.
Yeah,
in
over
Michigan.
by Silver Lake Sand Dunes.
Exactly right. So sand forests are pretty rare, but Tembe was built on a sand forest.
Okay, I didn't know
and
that.
So the land, the roads were very almost like sand dunes, right? Yeah. And so we went out in Clint's truck. It was me, my buddy Aaron Jones, and he was my one camera guy, and Clint, and we were just kind of going for a cruise to see what we could see. We wanted to shoot some, which was not exactly the smartest thing by our thing. There was 57 known lions in the camp, known lions,
right?
And we were going to go out at dusk, which is the time when lions typically attack. And I was supposed to, on the far side of the park, I was supposed to walk down this road, and that was going to be part of the out of the entire documentary, was me walking into the distance.
Yeah,
down
dope
this road.
shot. Yeah.
So I walked it. I mean, I did this walk 10 times because whatever. And that's how you shoot stuff, because we had a drone, we had all kinds of different stuff. And I don't even know if the footage ended up getting used, but I think it did actually get used at one point as I'm walking away. But it's dusk. And I'm walking down this road now, and my camera guys are 50 yards away from me. Yeah. I'm alone, which is not exactly right. But on the way back, we got stuck in the
of course you
sand.
did, dude. Yeah,
got stuck in the sand, and it's getting darker. We're at least a mile and a half away from camp. There's lions. Not to mention all kinds of other animals too, but at least 57 lions we know in this park.
That's a lot of lions.
And here we are stuck. And thankfully, Clint, being a South African as he is, was pretty good. And this was surprising me. I didn't know. I would have never known this. He let out 50% of the air in his tire.
Yeah. It gives you
wider.
More friction, pretty much. Yeah.
And we were able to get out of the thing because we were putting sticks in there. We were putting rocks underneath the wheels.
Just wait for it. Just take the air out of there.
Yeah. And so we let the air out. We got back to camp, and
you're alive.
And we were alive, so I made it back. So, yeah. It's you
want to get a couple supers, Mr. Brian?
Hit the supers. Keep them coming, guys. I appreciate you.
Brandon says, hello, Brian. I've found your channel after getting my first ball python for my 36th birthday. I sent an email to the Reptarium, and I hope to hear back.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I don't, happy birthday, first off. Thank you so much.
Happy birthday.
And I don't do the emails for the Reptarium, so hopefully if it's something for me, and this is advice I always tell everyone, whether you email BHB or you email Reptarium or you email anybody, if you want a response from me, always say attention, Brian, to it, and they typically will forward. I mean, unless they feel it's, so listen, my staff understand. They try to protect me as much as they can from the gazillion messages and emails we get a day.
Yeah.
They realize that I already am bombarded by that stuff, and so they do their best they can do to kind of filter out and answer things without me being involved, just because they know that I can't physically do it. So
you can't ID everyone's ball python. It's just not possible,
Yeah, because it's the type of thing hey, Brian, I got a question. I've got a banana enchi. What should I breed it to?
Let me tell you, if there was 175 hours in the day, Brian would do it.
Oh, I would
100%.
I would totally do it if I had the time. I just don't have the time. So my point is that if you email the Reptarium, most likely you're going to get an email back, but it'll probably be from Steph or Ashley.
Yeah.
Possibly from Lori. I don't think I've ever even looked at a Reptarium email, to be honest.
Yeah, unless it was forwarded to you.
But it does get forwarded. Yeah, they do forward me stuff. So yeah.
Tiffany says, cleaned all my tanks yesterday and gave Sizzy and Kizzy the new Fine Reptile Prime.
Oh, fines.
I heard OFC say you you're buying a new building. Is that true?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I've never heard anything. Who's OFC?
OFC. Let's see. Well, who's OFC?
Our fan club.
I heard
OFC. Oscar.
I don't know.
Ontario.
I can't even think of. Yeah, there's not a lot of names, right?
Who's OFC, man?
I don't know.
Well,
Tiff,
whoever said that's a liar.
I don't know, Tiffany. There's nothing. I've got no comment on that chat.
Silver Cash is stuck at work. Can't wait for Animal Con. Plus, got a Savannah monitor now. Good for you, dude.
Ah, there you go. Savannah monitor. They like pizza, don't they?
They do. That's their #1 diet.
Oh my gosh.
Wendy throwing a nice little banger says,
thank you, Wendy.
Hi, Brian and Jay. Hope you're both hope you both are happy Memorial Day weekend, having a happy Memorial Day weekend. Are you guys going to be able to take some time off to enjoy with your family? Were you able to take a day off spending 96 hours in the cage with Lucy?
It wasn't 96, but close to it. Those challenges aren't really a lot of time off. I mean, you can get bored with some times and stuff like that because you're not doing other things, but we keep ourselves pretty busy during those challenges. So there's not a lot of like downtime, and when you do have downtime, it's not like enjoyable.
No, you're almost
all.
like trying to sleep. Like, how can I find a way to get myself to sleep and get through this?
Yeah, like it's so no downtime there. And then I am actually gonna spend some time with my family in Grand Rapids. Right now, a horde of people are at our place in Grand Rapids.
Literally, yeah.
I think there's originally my sister-in-law and her 4 kids were there yesterday and today, and we're supposed to leave today. So by the time I got there tomorrow / late tonight, whenever I decide to go, they were going to be gone. Not that I like seeing them; they're all great people, but they're young kids, crazy stuff like that. And now I hear they're going to probably stay till tomorrow. So it sounds so. We got them. Then we've got
Noah,
Jade, Michael, Nathan, of course, my grandson. We've got my mother-in-law. We've got my Bobby and Becky, my brother and sister-in-law.
Jay's coming.
Jay is coming. Jay Tingle is coming, and Noah, of course. So I think that's it. But I think that totals like 12 people in our house there. So
2 dogs.
2 dogs, and So
and all the fun in the world.
But yeah, so I am definitely going to be. But that being said, I'm going to be working on my deck. So yeah, tomorrow I'll be there. But a big chunk, if not most of the day, I've got to replace
some boards,
the decking on top of my deck that goes out to the lake. So yeah.
So the boys will be together. Yeah. Crushing some decks out.
But we'll be working. So I mean, hopefully, with as many people as there, I think everyone's going to help me out. Hopefully we can bang it out pretty quick, but I'll spend a good chunk of tomorrow working, which is fine. And then, then I'll spend part of the day Monday, and then I come back, and then we get back right to it. So we'll get a little bit of time, maybe a day and a half off, so that'll be nice. We need it for sure. Which, by the way, speaking of time off, obviously we didn't have a video this Tuesday.
Yes.
And that was the first time that I think it's the first time we've missed a day.
As far as I know,
maybe since I started vlogging, where it was like an unscheduled day, where we didn't have it. And what basically happened was we had some monetization issues with the upload, which when you work as hard as we do, it's really difficult to put a video out and literally lose money. Where you're not only, it's one thing to not make money, but it's another thing to lose money. And you figure there's pay all over the place, on every video we make. Video we make costs us quite a bit of money. And so when you get demonetized, and I've only been demonetized a handful of times in the 6 years I've been doing it. And ironically enough, I got demonetized for the exercise wheel when we put the animals on the exercise wheel. So that was just on like Saturday. We had been demonetized, then monetized on Sunday. Monday was off, and then all of a sudden demonetized on Tuesday. So to have literally 3 of the 4 days in a row not making money just seemed like I'm not going to waste this. I'd
rather just save the video.
So we took the video, and Jay did a couple twists on the edit. We didn't really remove anything.
I can't even believe. I'm blown away. I mean,
we didn't. We just shuffled some things around. We didn't remove anything. We didn't change any of the concept of the painting with reptiles thing. We just moved a couple things around, and it was monetized, so we released that the next day. But it was a bummer missing a day like that, But so I do apologize about that. It's something that only happened because I just wasn't going to waste another video, on something. And the thing is that both videos, both the exercise wheel video and the painting video were demonetized due to dangerous acts, which doesn't make any sense because there's certainly nothing dangerous about putting animals on an exercise wheel, and there was nothing dangerous about putting kid paint on reptiles' feet to paint.
We just did a video milking a venomous snake. It's got 2 mil. It's like, why would that?
And that didn't get demonetized. So thankfully, I talked to my YouTube rep. And hopefully we'll get that thing all straightened out. But as for now, everything else has been monetized. We're back to normal. We haven't had any other issues. Knock on wood. Let's keep it that way. So that's why we miss miss Tuesday. Yeah.
Brother Clint. He says, as a kid, we had a winter garter snake communal nest near our home.
That's cool.
It stunk bad. I want some pet garters. Do they always stink, or is it just when they musk? P.S. Had a blast on the podcast, brothers.
Always good to have you, man.
Yeah,
they do have a musky smell. There's no doubt about it. I mean, like when you keep them in captivity, like one per enclosure, you don't get that at all.
Yeah, because I had one for a bit.
Yeah, and we have our checker garters and we have Radix and stuff like that, and there's no smell to them at all. They're very good. So yeah, I think it's just when they get together and they're kind of all over each other,
making each other musk. Yeah,
and obviously, I mean, the big one is obviously the Narcissus snake den up in Manitoba. And one day before
we need to connect.
One day before my life is over, I want to go see the Narcissus
snake dens. Yeah, Manitoba.
But I don't know much about. It's an interesting thing because it's a very popular. As a matter of fact, even like U-Haul trucks.
Yeah, all of them. A
lot of them will have the Narcissus den of snakes on the side of the truck. So it's a very popular thing. But I don't know. Like, can you punch up on Google like just some images of Narcissus snake den? I'm just curious, like how many people go there. You know what I mean? Like I think it would suck if you went there and there was like
3 million people,
like Old Faithful. You know what I mean? I wonder if they. I mean,
jeez, that looks crazy.
I mean, it's so.
I'm trying to see. I mean, this looks like what it would probably be what it is, right? But could you imagine, dude? If we can get somebody to get us in there, bro, like.
Can you go back one?
Yeah. Sorry. You want me to go back to this?
Yeah, go back to that. Go to that one picture right on the bottom. I'm just curious what.
Are you talking about this?
Yeah, that one right there.
Yeah. Let me see.
I'm just curious what they're like, where they're at. You know what I mean? Like,
are
the dens beneath the thing?
Yeah, I think the dens are right down there. Yeah, I can't get in any closer than this, but yeah, I think the dens would be right here because it looks like there's a sign here too.
I wonder. It looks like there's like a wildlife person like showing someone. So I wonder if you can touch them.
I know. Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, come on, we gotta do it.
It doesn't look. I mean, it doesn't look like there's tens of thousands of people.
No, it almost looks more like a national park or something.
Yeah, but it does look like. It does look like. I mean, like, why is that kid holding a whole handful of them? That's what I want to know. Up a little bit.
Oh, this. Right.
I wonder if that's Narcissus or is that's just be like, just some guy in Kansas.
Yeah, I mean,
that was me when I was a kid, right there.
It does look
me. That was me for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'd like to have some closer up, stuff with the Narcissus snake dens.
If anyone knows somebody, please contact me because we'll go there. Stat.
Yeah, it'd be really.
We've been talking about it forever. So
yeah, I mean, it's something that I would love to check out.
LOL says, "Are you ever going to do more ghost hunting content? Because I thought it was very entertaining every once in a while, or just some stories."
I mean, I'm not opposed to doing it. I don't know how it fits into the vlog these days.
It'd be fun.
But I'm not opposed to it at all. I mean, I still watch ghost shows almost every night. Almost every night I'm watching some ghost show or something like that.
You know what would be? Maybe I'll say that after.
Okay.
I'll say it after. I'll just write it down.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's certainly plausible that we do something like that again. I like I said, I've been fascinated with the paranormal my whole life. Literally my whole life, I've been fascinated with the paranormal. So like I said, I'm not kidding you when I say that I bet you 9 out of 10 nights I'm watching some paranormal thing on TV, whether it's a television show or a documentary or a movie or something like that. I'm just obsessed with it. So that's how I calm down at night. I know it's really weird.
No,
but
it's not. I watch murder mysteries.
Yeah. I calm down at night watching ghost stories and stuff like that. Yeah.
Miserable hauntings. Yeah. I'm the same way.
And it's funny because like Noah, so probably like 2 weeks ago, I was in our bathroom washing up at night, and Noah wasn't home, and Lori's, out in Grand Rapids. And so I thought, I didn't hear the door open for Noah coming home. And so I was like, all of a sudden I hear our master bathroom, like the wall, the other side of the wall would be Noah's bathroom, right? And so I'm in our master bathroom just washing up and stuff, and all of a sudden I hear like something in his bathroom. So I'm thinking, oh, Noah must have got home.
Right.
Because there was like just some shuffling around, some footsteps, some stuff like that. And I come out and Noah's not home.
No.
Noah's not home. And so then Noah told me the other night that he woke up thinking that I was like going up and down the stairs because he heard like so heavy enough. And this was when I was actually in Grand Rapids.
Oh, no.
So he thought I came home and it literally woke him up out of a sound sleep, like heavy footsteps.
Oh my God.
And he thought, oh, Dad must have got home early or something like that. And of course I wasn't even in town. So
that's crazy.
So yeah, it's kind of weird what happens. That being said, I'm not like freaked out at our house or anything like that. It's just, it is interesting though.
Scottish Rob says there was an aerial survey in 1957 done of the Florida wetlands. When overlaid with a current one, 97% of the wetlands have been developed.
Yeah.
Berms are not the entire issue.
No, you're 1,000% correct. What you got to remember is, like you said, Disney is a perfect example, right? Disney was a swamp.
Yep.
It was literally a swamp, and the majority of the developments in Florida. That's why there is the Water Management Commission in Florida, is that they built those canals so that they could drain the water from the north into the Everglades because they wanted to be able to develop all that northern property, up even north of Okeechobee. Was the Everglades. It still is the Everglades, theoretically. As a matter of fact, the backside of Gatorland is theoretically part of the Everglades, which is outside of Orlando. Where all that swamp drainage is?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's actually used to be connected to the Everglades.
Wow.
And now, of course,
it's still the Everglades. They just cut the fence pretty much.
Right, yeah. And now they have all the canals that are managing the water away from these developments that they have. That's what the canals
are for. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's what the canals are for. And so, and that's why the Florida Water Commission is so and they're also involved in the whole Burmese python issue as well. So it's
interesting. So it's like pinning the blame on something else. Because somebody was even talking to us. I don't remember. We were in Florida, and they were talking about the same thing with the iguanas too. Like that. I don't remember who it was.
Yeah. It was. I think it was Sam, wasn't it?
No, other the cool lizards. I can't remember his name. I'm so sorry.
Ron St. Pierre.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ron St. Pierre.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. And that's I think that it's like I've said, right? It's like, it's all about funding, right? It's about getting money, government funds, state funds, to protect whatever they want to protect, whatever they want to do. And it's like I said, Burmese pythons are a big headline, right? Whereas if it's like, this plant, plant is invading the Everglades. No one's going to care about that.
Monster snakes in your backyard. Yeah.
And you speak of cats. There is such a massive feral cat issue down in Florida. It's not even funny. The feral cats down there. And we talked about feral boar down there too. The wild boar down there are decimating the wildlife, and those are not native.
Yep.
You know, so there's lots of issues down there. There's like you said, there's development, there's flora, fauna of all types that are dealing with it. And don't get me wrong, that doesn't belittle the fact that Burmese pythons are a major issue, because they are.
Yeah, but so are all these other things.
But there's a lot of stuff going on in Florida that's very, very, I mean, they have a monkey island, for God's sake.
Yeah,
there's monkeys,
two actually.
Yeah, a couple monkey islands where there's wild monkeys. I mean, this is Florida. We don't have monkeys in North America.
So insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oddball says, just want to let you know you're still my favorite animal, Oddball, on here. Thanks for the great content. This should pay for a coconut water or two.
Thank you. I actually, now I don't do coconut water, but thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it now. I do flavored water. This is sweet tea, by the way. Flavored water, 0 calories, 0 caffeine, and it works a lot better for me. So that's what I drink exclusively now.
Jeremy says, Big Rich at Ohio Fish Rescue slipped up on a video today. Oh. Damn you, Rich.
Damn, Rich.
Well, he's a little liar.
Oh, Ohio Fish Rescue. That's what OF.
The OF crew, maybe, OFC.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll talk about that soon. But and nothing is in stone. That's why I haven't talked about it much. Is that,
or we would have made a video.
Yeah, papers haven't been signed. We're close on a big announcement that'll happen when it comes to that. But right now we can't talk about it because it's not a reality yet. Yeah. So, but it's getting close, and it'll be an exciting thing to talk about when we can.
Sherry Lynn says, did you get the list of spider people I left, or did I put them on the wrong Instagram? Lori Wine, Tortoise Saddle, Saw the Puss, Octo Sloth, Later Gators.
That's awesome. I did not get that list. So it didn't come to me.
I don't think I got it either. But if you did send it to me, just say hey in a message, and I'll get it up to the top. And if you didn't send it to me, send it to me, and I'll get it to Brian.
Yeah, because I mean, I get a lot of messages on Instagram, but I try to. I'm pretty good on Instagram with messages, so I didn't see that one. I'm sorry. But we are well represented in the tarantula community. Is she? You think she's talking about spider people?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Spider people.
Because I think we have Tarantula Collective, we have Urban Tarantulas, we have the Dark Den, we have Tarantula Cat, we have several, like Zen Habitats is coming with that works with a lot of tarantula people. Obviously in the ant side, we have Ants Canada. We have
so cool.
Lights Camera as Ants coming. So yeah, we've got, and several others. So the bug community is really, come out strong for us for Animal Con USA. So hopefully that'll be awesome. So I'm looking forward to meeting those guys. And I got to reach out to the Dark Den a little bit because, he committed and he's on the list. But I've talked to other tarantula people saying he's coming and all that stuff, but I haven't personally talked to him recently. So I've got to slowly reach back out to everybody and see what's going on.
Bionic Benny says, I'm the disabled guy with one leg that can't wait to see you at Animal Con.
All right.
I'll be attending for 3 days. Just had my first clutch of ball python eggs. Am I the first amputee to produce ball pythons?
Listen.
There's more. There's more.
I hate to tell you. I don't want to burst your bubble, but God bless you.
But you're the first one that's that good looking doing it.
Yeah, you're the first one that's coming to Animal Con USA for 3 days. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
So no, I will really look forward to meeting you at Animal Con USA, and I think that I'll remember you.
Yeah, you think? Yeah, I don't think it's related to animal experiences, but I've met multiple people that have amputated limbs in the animal world.
Yeah. We've come across a bunch. Where were we? Where like we forgot, or like I didn't even know that the person had. Do you remember this?
Was it maybe
like in Florida?
Was it in Florida?
And we were like hanging out with it was like Robbie Kez or something.
I don't remember who it was, but I remember this. I remember like
and like I didn't even realize that they were missing a leg until like the end of the day or something like that. It's
and then there's the dude that works at Gatorland. You know, he's
that's
missing an
right.
arm.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, that's Gator took that one.
I don't know if that's true. I think he was a motorcycle accident.
It was a motorcycle.
That's the story they tell, at least.
It was a motorcycle accident, actually, ironically enough. But I like the Gator story. Gator took my arm. Interestingly enough, I think I've told you this, that in St. Augustine Gator Farm, which is a tremendous place, the only accident they ever had was one of their keepers got their arm ripped off by a Cuban crocodile. And they've been around since like the 40s or maybe even earlier than the 40s. Yeah. And they've never had another incident other than that. The Cuban took someone's arm. So, speaking of that,
yes,
did you see the video of the guy that got his fingers ripped off by the lion?
Lion or tiger?
It could have been. I think it was a lion.
Okay. No, I don't think I did.
I mean, the last like 2 or 3 days.
No, I don't think so.
All right, just punch this up. Just go there like. I'm guarantee you this is going to be here. If you just say, guy loses fingers to lion video. I mean, it's the crazy. I wonder if we can play it. Yep, here it is.
Oh, no.
I wonder if there's a video of it.
Yeah, there is. You ready?
Well, this is like a long video, though.
This is 27 seconds.
Yeah, take that one. Do that one. But look at how this guy reacts. This is the worst reaction you can possibly do. Watch this. This is the worst reaction you could ever do.
What is he trying to have happen?
Everyone's filming him. Now watch what he does now.
Oh,
look
why?
At this. He's just like, look at this. He's just like, give him back. Give him back. He's like, literally, if he would just let the lion be, it may let it.
There's the fingers.
There goes the fingers.
All right.
Fingers, tendons, and all.
Nice.
But I mean,
that was crazy, dude.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like that's probably not the
protocol.
The protocol is to put your foot and yank your
fingers off.
Yeah, because he ripped his fingers off.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, hopefully it would have just got bored and then went to like readjust its bite. And then you could slip your fingers out.
He panicked.
But when you're pulling, it's going to play tug of war. I mean, have you ever had a dog before?
Yeah,
bro?
I mean, if number one, whenever you get attacked or anything happens like that, you have to be super calm. That guy was freaking out. He was freaking out.
The first word was the F-bomb out of his mouth, dude.
But did he?
I think so. I mean, it wasn't loud, but you could see him say it. He was like,
but I think I would have probably sat still and banged on the fence.
Yeah, try to scare the lion.
Yeah, banged on the fence with my other hand, not put my foot on the fence for leverage, yanking my fingers off.
No, I for sure would have looked around for someone with better experience to help me, for sure.
Oh, my gosh.
It's going to happen.
That was quite the video, man.
Yeah, I thought, because there was a video that's been recirculated. You might have even seen it. It's an older video of a guy in India, like the two guys are riding on an elephant, I think, or maybe a truck or something. I can't remember. You barely see the vehicle or whatever, but a tiger comes like out of the grass and jumps 12 feet high.
I've seen that video before. That's a good one.
I'm good on all that.
Tigers are no joke, man. Lions are not good either, but tigers are next level.
There's nothing like it. They're the biggest, strongest, craziest big cat.
Yeah. Anyone that thinks a lion, between a lion and a tiger, you take that tiger. You don't want that, man.
And then you think about that camouflage, right? Because and I didn't know this until rather recently, within the last couple of years. Like, I grew up and you think like, wow, why is this cat orange and black? It's in the middle of the jungle. It looks like it stick out. Most animals don't see the colors red.
Right.
So they see that orange as green. So it literally looks like just grass walking. Yeah, that's spooky.
That's awesome, man. They're the ultimate killers, man.
Yeah.
Love it.
Tiffany says, sorry, didn't mean to bust out your secrets like that, but they, hey, I never know if people are pulling my strings. I'll always investigate.
Yeah, like I said, more on it when we have some definitive answers. Like I said, right now there's nothing really. We're hoping. We're.
That's the goal.
I mean, the goal. Yeah, and I'll talk a lot more about what that means when I have more information.
More Mixology. Our buddy Jason says, "What's up, Snake Fam? Hope all is well.
What's up, dude?
How you doing, brother?
What's up? By the way, guys, hit me in the super chats if you want me. Need you to keep me going here. I'm a little bit on the low energy.
Yeah.
I just did a 2-hour podcast before this podcast, so this will be 4 hours of talking. And although I talk a lot, I definitely could use your help. So if you have any questions for me on anything, always happy to answer. I really do appreciate your super chats because it drives the ships, man.
Timothy says, how often would you feed an ATB?
Amazon tree boa.
Amazon tree boa. I've been doing an adult mouse every 10 days. Is that too much for an adult?
No, not really. I mean, so tree boas and tree pythons are different, right? In a way. So like the idea is like with an emerald tree boa, for instance, you don't want to overfeed, and even green tree pythons to some extent, you don't want to overfeed them because they're pretty lethargic. They don't move around a lot, and so they're not really metabolizing a tremendous amount. And the word of the the kind of thing is like, hey, don't feed an emerald tree boa until it poops. Like feed it, then it poops, then you feed it again,
right.
Something like that. But Amazon tree boas are different. They're pretty active animals. They don't just sit on a lump and do nothing. They're pretty much always moving and doing things. So I think every 7 to 10 days is a completely good cycle for an Amazon tree boa because they don't have those impaction. I mean, you can see like some emerald tree boas or even green tree pythons where you see this like big bulge by their vent where they kind of have gotten fat, Amazon tree boas just don't do that. I've never seen a fat Amazon tree boa, to be honest with you.
No, they're always streamlined.
Yeah, they're always pretty streamlined. And that's because they're a different animal. So I think you're completely fine.
Jason says, my son Bo is at the Reptarium today all the way from Nebraska. If you see him, ask him about his FFA project.
FFA project. What do you think that is?
I can only think of Free For All, but I don't know.
Free For All. Yeah, I'll ask him. So his name is Bo. So I'm going to look. I wonder what time, Jason, I wonder what time he's here. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to be here if he's here from 4 or 5 to 7. But if he's here, I could have even met him from 4 to 5.
Or 3 to 4, yeah.
Yeah, no,
4 to 5.
Yeah, 4 to 5.
I'm sorry.
And then I'll be here after this is done. I'll be upstairs for a little bit for sure.
Morph Mixology says, are you going to be getting these back on Apple Podcasts?
Was Noah uploading them on Apple Podcasts? Yeah. I mean, we have a staffing issue. Not that everyone's working their ass off is the problem.
Yeah.
We don't have
enough staffing issues.
I want to, and I don't mind talking about my couple ideas that I want to do. I really want to do a number one. I want to do a Spanish channel. So I need an editor because obviously Jay and Noah can't do it. They're busy as could be. I have to find an editor that can, take dubbed audio from a company that would dub our voices into Spanish.
Yeah.
And then insert that dubbing into the video.
And then add the music
and then
all that
add
stuff,
the music and all the other stuff that goes along with it. I think we could probably take the same music track though and just reduce reduce the actual audio track from out of camera, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think they would have to redo any of the
okay, I didn't know if when
design.
you were sending it to the dubbers, if it had to be like.
I don't think we would send anything to the dubbers. I think I think what you do is you send a video and then they just do a soundtrack.
Gotcha.
And then they send you the WAV file, and then you insert it into
that should be pretty easy.
The project.
Yeah.
So, but we need an editor to do that because it's still going to take some time. That even if it's a little bit of time. So I'd like to do a Spanish channel, speaking channel, and then the other channel I'd like to do is Noah and myself reacts channel.
Yeah.
So we react to animal videos on the internet. So those are the two channels that I'd like to do. But we need staffing issues, and it's the same thing with the podcast. I mean, we haven't uploaded it to Apple in probably 2 months because Noah's just slammed with editing constantly.
Yeah, where before he wasn't, so he had the time to do that.
Yeah, one of his job responsibilities was to do the podcast.
Right, exactly.
Now he no longer has anything to do with the podcast, so we literally have nobody to upload that stuff to Apple Podcasts. And I mean, it's not like a big chore whatsoever, but it still takes time, and it's just we just don't have time. So we got to continue to add to our but you got to find the right people to add to your team.
That are going to add more value than just putting a soundtrack, right? Yeah. Because even though maybe that's what you start off with, which is a pretty simple task. I mean, we got tons of work. Trust me, we have no shortage of ideas we can get you to work on. So
I mean, like I said, the Reacts one would be a significant job.
Yeah, that's just as hard as doing the vlog. You know what
because
I mean?
the edit on those reacts. I mean, literally, when you look at Preston reacts or Mr. Beast reacts,
they're incredible.
I mean, you're literally reacting to a 5-second clip. So I mean, that's it. You're like a 5-second clip. Your reaction is 5 seconds. So it's like 10 seconds for every single clip, and you've got to put 8 minutes out.
Yeah.
So think about how many clips you've got to react to.
And there's a lot of graphic designy stuff too.
Exactly.
So
I mean, I would assume that for every minute you're doing probably at least
an hour to 2 hours of work.
Yeah, an hour to 2 hours of work. Now we would probably only do that react video once a week, but I need a guy that not only is going to do amazing edits, but also needs to find the footage for me too.
Yeah.
So they got to go find the animal things that we would react to, and then. So
and obviously we all help each other, but it'd have to be that's your responsibility. But I mean, I'm watching animal stuff all the time, so I wouldn't mind sending, but I can't be forced to do that. You know?
No,
what I mean?
we can't. So we can't have someone researching that on our team right now. So those are things. I mean, I really want to add. I mean, listen, I want to grow our team, but we've got to grow our team with the right people. Yeah. And that's not always.
And we work
easy.
hard, so we need people that are going to want to work with us that hard.
But yep. I
Love
don't even know. How did we get to that topic?
Jason just asked if we were putting
the podcast. Yeah, the podcast. Yeah, and then we got talking about time and all the other stuff. Yeah.
And if we don't do anything, that's why.
Yeah,
for sure.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not because we're lazy. I can promise you that.
It's just a time issue.
Yeah.
So, Cash, we gonna catch Disney during the Animal Con weekend?
No.
I love it.
No. I mean, I will be very busy during the Animal Con weekend. I wouldn't mind catching Disney before or after, but during is going to be. I don't think before would be impossible too.
Yeah.
And then, quite frankly, I'm sure after I'm going to be busy, so I'm going to probably just come home. But I'd love to. I'd love to do Disney. I don't think it's going to happen on that trip.
Chibi says, quick question. I went from huge snakes to a baby corn snake. How do you best start calming them to a new place with new sounds?
Yeah, I mean, baby corn snakes, are a little bit, wiry. You know?
Yeah.
So it's gonna take a little bit of time to get them past that wiry stage, but they will. I mean, it's really baby corn snakes are about. Just letting them grow up a little bit, So if you think about just, a small snake in a big world, it's going to be very defensive. It's going to be very weary. The more it gets used to you as a handling and the environment, it's going to calm down on its own. You're not going to have to really do anything to it. It's just going to ultimately, I would say if it's eating, handle it at least 2-3 times a week even for 10 or 15 minutes. Make sure you end every handling session with a very good experience. So it's not like, flipping out as you put it back in its cage, gently set it in, it gently crawls off your hand. End every session with that type of a situation. And in no time, it's going to be super tame. Corns are really good animals.
Arturo says, when are the snake NFTs coming? Cheers from LA.
I was involved in several NFT ideas, and I think that what ended up happening is that NFTs, I believe NFTs are going to be a big part of the future.
Yeah,
I think that as we get into Web3, I think music artists for ticket sales, probably sports, all this type of stuff. NFTs are going to be a big part of all of that. But I think that NFTs from the beginning, with say CryptoPunks to Gary V, V Friends, all these types of things. Logan Paul obviously is still crushing. He's doing an NFT series right now that I'm sure is doing well because
that's a banger
because he's Logan Paul, and it was a smart idea. I think if Logan executed that idea 6 months earlier, he makes millions and millions more dollars.
Yeah,
I think right now there's a
break right now.
There's a break in the NFT world, and now it's looking like if you put out an NFT collection, you're just money hungry, is what it looks like, right? It looks like you're just doing a money grab.
Yeah. Trying to get people to spend extra money.
Yeah, and we were talking about a couple NFT projects that I thought that it would have really good utility to them.
Yeah.
Which would be interesting. So I think that at some point we will probably jump into that game. Like I said, I had tons of meetings with companies.
A lot.
That and we were on the verge of trying to do some projects. Some generative and some non-generative, but in the end, now I feel like if I did it would feel really unauthentic, and it would feel like I was just trying to steal people's money. So when the market kind of figures itself out and it becomes, I mean, the whole, the whole crypto world is a little bit funky right now, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot of ups and downs. Obviously, Ether and Bitcoin have had really bad months, and some
it makes
of these
people hesitant.
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
some of these other like Cardano they've gotten really beaten down big time. So I think right now, and the NFTs, even though it is still in the blockchain.
Yeah.
So
you got to remember too, like for the last 5-10 years, we've had a great economy. The economy changing. People aren't going to be doing frivolous stuff like buying something that has not much utility now, even if it does in the future. They're going to be like, I'd rather put it in something that can change my life now.
Yeah, but we'll definitely. I can guarantee you, at some point, we'll be involved in the NFT game. Just when
it's ready,
when it doesn't feel like a money grab, when it feels more like, hey, you can get into this NFT project and it's going to be really fun for you, and it's going to be
great for your consumers.
Yeah, exactly. And the utility behind it is really good. So
I agree with that.
It'll come eventually, but not now.
Brother Clinton came back to give us the good word. He says praying for the next phase of the Reptarium, and the FFA is the Future Farmers of America. So Bo's project is about the Future Farmers of America.
Oh, that's cool, man.
So you got to ask him about it.
If I run into Bo, I will ask him about the Future Farmers of America. You guys may or may not know this, but like I've been always infatuated with farming.
He's right. Every time we would go to the family farm in Fleet or whatever it is.
I love it, man.
You'd be like, I just, I have dreams, man. Being on a tractor.
I know. It's like, I swear, it's like I'm never going to retire, right? Like I've always said this a million times, like not retire. But I would like to. One day, I'd love to have a farm. I'd love to have a farm. I don't know what I would do with it.
You could do it in the GR.
Yeah, I mean, it would just be. I don't know. There's something that I've always loved, the idea of living on a farm, and I mean, the farm could be like animals, or it could be corn.
Yeah,
I don't care. But I mean, like getting on a tractor and I don't know, man. It's just something about it that makes me happy, and doing the chores every day with the animals. I don't know.
I mean, you are kind of a farmer to a degree.
No, I do agree with that. I always say that we are snake or reptile farmers. I mean, in a different way, not
livestock,
not as much as I was in the past, but it's very similar.
Now you're like a reptile gardener.
Yeah, like a gardener, exactly. Yeah, that's a good analogy.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I think. Yeah, I Lori always laughs at me.
Yes, she does.
Because whenever I say I want to be a farmer, she laughs at me. I don't know why.
I agree with you.
I don't know why she thinks that I wouldn't be happy on a farm. Because to me it would seem really good. I don't know. And I don't know anything about farming. You know what I mean? Like,
we'll learn.
But like you said, I go to the farm store and I want to buy a bunch of stuff.
It's so hyped, dude.
Yeah, I'm like, all this stuff looks so
Polaris.
Cool. Yeah, it's like all of it just looks so fun.
It does, though.
And farmers just, they just seem happy.
And they have a great personality. Usually they're funny.
Yeah, yeah, they're just
good anecdotes.
Good people. Like not you never see a greedy farmer.
Yeah, never.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just making stuff up now, but yeah.
Scottish Rob says you consider expanding boas with Jessica, or just too much with the geckos and other projects.
I mean, we do have some boas. Jessica loves boas for sure. I do think that Jessica's a little bit stretched right now, where I don't know that she can take on a tremendous amount more projects per se. We need to probably scale back some to decide. But we have, we have. An eclipse boa that's really cool. We have a
IMG.
We have leopard and het leopard. We have leopard IMGs. We have motleys. We have obviously Surinams and Guyana red tail boas. We have hog islands. We have hypo het sharps and sharp sun glows. So yeah, we have a bunch of stuff that. Yeah, I mean, not a ton, but we have something that we call puzzle boas, which we think are it's like a new mutation that we picked up from a friend of mine. And I use the term friend loosely. I've known him for 20 years, but we never hung out outside of reptiles. He produced 2 years in a row. He produced these animals that looked like it almost looks like they've got puzzles down their back, instead of normal saddles, they're really reduced, super reduced, like a jungle boa, but they're it looks like puzzle pieces down their back.
Yeah, it's really
cool.
cool.
2 years in a row, he bred 2 normal boas, like completely normal, bred them together, and popped out a handful of these puzzles both years, and literally sold all but the 2 that I got. I got 2 females.
Yeah.
And he sold all the other ones to his local pet shop for $75.
Stop.
And they sold them off as normals.
And
like,
no one, they'll almost, very rarely they would ever meet again.
Yeah, they'll never meet again. So we have 2 female puzzle boas that are coming up that I think will be really cool because they, like I said, they're similar to jungles but radically reduced pattern compared to a jungle, and they have this interesting, like jungles typically have like striping and zigzagging and stuff like that. These have very definitive saddles, much like a normal boa saddle, but very clean. They don't have the freckling in them.
Nope.
And then where the saddles would be instead of saddles, it looks like literally like a puzzle piece.
Like exactly like a puzzle piece.
Yeah, and so we have some boa projects going, but I don't see us like going crazy with boas or anything like that, and like I've said, before, I think that, the overall breeding business at BHB is going to be reduced continuously as the other part of our business increases, because although I love breeding snakes and lizards,
we'll still do that at the zoo.
But the zoo is where my love is and my heart is, and that's what I think I'll continue to.
Like if you could have, if you were 17 and you could have successfully started the reptarium or been a breeder, you would have started the reptarium. Anyone would have, I
think that, so many people, not just me, but so many breeders, have done it, and their aspirations are to open up like a reptile zoo and stuff like that. Yeah. So the fact that we've been able to do that so far, and hopefully we'll be expanding,
it's just beautiful.
Is really what my end game was to begin with, So the breeding side, although I love it to death, it's going to be less. I'm not going to be done with it. It's not going to go away 100%, but it's going to be less. So I don't see us adding a tremendous amount of new projects.
Yeah.
At this point.
Heidi says, "I'll come breed boas for you." Said in love to all.
Yeah,
love
Heidi actually. Yeah, Heidi has done a good job of breeding boas. She seems to have a good knack at it. So. And I think that, like I said, I don't really know that we have given it a great shot. I think that like I said, I've talked with a lot of boa breeders about their secrets and stuff like that, and I think that it's if we follow the protocol to breed boas, I think that we would be successful breeding boas, but we just haven't followed the protocol yet because it's not been high priority.
Brandon says, "Pretty sure my girl is a butter spinner. She has a minor head wobble. She's in her first shed and sparkled a fire in me I didn't know was burning."
Yeah, that's what happens, right? I mean,
it's adorable.
And, obviously the spider part of that might be that slight wobble. It doesn't really affect it too much, and I wouldn't worry too much about it. But yeah, that's what happens, right? You get one, and you're just like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing, and you become totally obsessed. And I was talking to Rudy when I was on the podcast before this podcast, just talking about how like my obsession for animals it just never has waned. You know what I mean? Like it's weird because some people, get a hobby or obsession and over the years it kind of goes away. You know what I mean? Like you get like, I've done this. I've done this since I was 15 years old.
And you've been obsessed since you were a baby, pretty much.
I've been obsessed since I was a youngster. And I'm still just so obsessed. I mean, in some ways I think that the reptarium has increase that obsession.
Absolutely. Because you get to watch the animals now. You know what I mean? Rather than just like interacting with them when you're moving them or something.
Yeah. No, it's really cool to see it, and I can't wait to add more animals to the fray when we do the expansion. That can, like I said, I'm sure we'll be adding some animals, but we have a lot of BHB and we have a lot of animals at BHB that will go to the reptarium, is what I'm saying. So I'm really looking forward to getting those animals out of BHB and into the reptarium and start to see them flourish like we see with the animals at the reptarium now, and just start to interact with them behaviorally. It's going to be really cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, I won't put any hints out there, but we did a video the other day, interacting with animals in a way that I've never, with reptiles at least, that we haven't seen really,
Right.
And I mean, you wouldn't really think of even doing that if they were at BHB as much.
No. Yeah, and by the way, definitely going to want to see
guys
this
are gonna
video.
lose it.
It's a great video. It's going to be a banger. I mean, the results of what we did were wild,
Yeah.
and it's
incredible.
And I hope it's just the beginning of this process. So
stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Brandon, that was from him already. Morph Mixology said, I'm fairly sure my Doom Rolls girl is in prelay.
That's awesome. I guess I thought she was going to go when we were there. She looked so gravid, but apparently maybe she was in pre-ovulation and then sucked her follicles back up. But that, there's nothing like producing Doom Rolls boas. There's nothing like producing boas in general. Boas are just a fun animal to produce.
Yeah.
And, just open up the cage and seeing babies of any type, whether it's blue tongue skinks, garter snakes, rainbow boas, boa constrictors, Doom Rolls boas, whatever the case may be. Opening up an enclosure and seeing a bunch of babies.
Yeah, not eggs, right? And then having to wait again.
Yeah,
it's like you just see 6. It's so cool.
It's just really cool, And we've, this year we definitely, we've been producing garter snakes, since I was, young. So I've never stopped producing garter snakes every year. So we got those as live young. I don't know if we'll have any blue tongue skinks this year. That project kind of got away from us. We sold off the majority of our blue tongue skinks, and then Jessica did a little bit of breeding this year with the blue tongues, but not very much. So
it's a very labor intensive breeding, right? Like it's like
you just gotta watch them, right?
Yeah, like you can't do other things. Like ball pythons, you can put ball python in and go rest of your day.
Yeah, exactly.
This you have to watch. So they don't kill each other.
You have to literally watch them, because if you don't, they'll rip an arm off or something like that. So Jessica, I know she had a couple copulations this year, a handful of copulations with blue tongues, but I don't think she went too far with it because I had told her we were trying to get out of it. I want to keep a handful of blue tongues and that's it. Because again, just the breeding just takes so long to produce.
Right.
But we may get a litter or two of blue tongues, and then we definitely have some gravid rainbow boas, which is fun because it's been a couple years since we've had gravid rainbows. So we're going to open up cages here in the next probably month or so, and then of course we hopefully have Ivy. Hopefully she's full of eggs, or babies, I should say. So hopefully we'll have some live babies this year. It'd be really fun for sure.
That's all I got for now. But I did want to say one. Throw some more super chats to help us
please,
through this conversation.
Yep,
and then let's go. I just I haven't stopped thinking about that guy getting his hand bit out lion.
Oh my gosh,
dude.
yeah.
What was he trying to do? He was like smacking the fence and putting his hands in the lion's mouth. I mean, it's like stupid game, stupid prizes.
Yeah, I don't know if he was trying to show off. I mean, obviously people were filming him. You know? And I don't know if he was trying to like cowboy it up for the people.
Get the lion to start roaring or something.
I have no idea because the lion was obviously looking to bite him. I mean, he had his mouth open and he was snapping at him, and the guy kept sticking.
And the guy wasn't being like, "Hey, you're my best friend. I hang out with every day. You're cute. Let's cuddle." And then he gets bit. It's like you're annoying the cat.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't really know what his objective was there. But it was a scary thing to say.
Oh my God,
yeah. But it's I mean it was entertaining. I mean, not in a bad way. But when I saw that video, I was just like, my mouth was just wide open, like, oh my God, are you kidding me right now?
And humans hurt animals so much in life, whether on purpose or on accident, that when you see a human get hurt by an animal, sometimes it's just like, all right.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, that lion's been waiting for that opportunity for
its whole life, dude.
It's like, I got him. Finally got him.
Yeah, that's how I feel. So.
But, hopefully the animal didn't suffer for it. It wasn't his fault, that's for sure. And I have no back history of where that was, how that was, what happened there. But, you got, listen, we, without disparaging my fellow animal keepers, you got to be a little bit cracked to keep a lion or a tiger.
To work with one for real.
Yeah, they're just,
lions.
They're amazing animals. I mean, I've been around them a bunch, lions and tigers, and they are really, truly amazing animals. But I don't know that I could say that I've been to any place that's kept lions or tigers that I felt were doing it 100% right.
Yeah, it's so. I mean, what do you do?
I mean, I've been to places like Mario's that down at Zoo Wildlife, Miami, that are really nice.
Yeah,
I think it's as good as it can get. Or what's the McCarthy's Wildlife?
Right,
Again, same situation. If you're going to keep them, that's as good as you're going to keep them in this country. But I also think
it's hard to keep.
Yeah, it's hard, man. I mean, these are animals that are wanderers. They roam, massive areas and.
Like I went to a place. It was up in Warren, New Jersey. It was a wolf preserve, Lakota Wolf Preserve, they did it right with wolves. I mean, they had each wolf, there might have been 4 wolves in an enclosure, acres and acres of property on the mountains. You know what I mean? So to a degree, they probably feel wildish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's probably what you would have to do with lions is have acres for 2 lions, 4 lions, And
that's why I think reptiles feel a little bit better to keep in captivity is because most reptiles, not all, but most reptiles do really stay in the same range that
As where they were born
for their entire life. I mean,
Yeah.
most reptiles probably don't travel a quarter mile their entire life, most, not all, but most, or if they are traveling, they're traveling from point A to point B, then back to point A for the winter, and then, you know what I mean? They're going back and
with
forth.
reptiles, at least you try, you can handle them and bring them out and enrich their life. And listen, you can do the same with lions. It's just a lot more dangerous, A lot less people can do it.
Dangerous. Yeah. I mean, I've been in with a couple lions and tigers in my life, and it's scary.
Yeah, dude, they're very scary.
Yeah, because you just know. Listen, when you're in with an adult lion or tiger, you realize
you're prey. You're on the food chain now.
I mean, if they want to attack you, there is zero chance of you getting away.
Yeah,
zero chance at all. You're completely gone.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of a bummer.
Chibi says best large lizard for beginning large keepers.
So that's an interesting question.
That's a very interesting one.
So I still think Savannah monitors is the starter big lizard, the starter big lizard, monitor lizard thing, because they're so chill. They don't move around hardly at all. They're typically very, very docile.
Yeah.
Very easy to keep in most ways. But I don't necessarily think that if you have the ability, Asian water monitor, captive born Asian water monitor is a great animal. I mean, you can't get better than that. Again, you need a big cage. You need room. You need time. You have to kind of know how to work with big lizards.
Ability to have variable diet.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It costs. I mean, that's the thing. All monitors cost a lot of money.
Yes.
I mean,
you're feeding them good food multiple times a week.
We're feeding them steak. We're feeding them, chicken.
Eggs,
we're feeding them eggs. We're feeding them fish. We're feeding them things that cost a lot of money.
Wagyu beef.
Yeah, Wagyu beef. No, you don't have to feed them Wagyu beef. Remember, I'd be willing to say that's probably not even that good for them because there's so much fat.
Yeah, they probably don't even care. It tastes good though.
It tastes good, but I think that it depends on the individual. If you feel you can take care of a water monitor and you have the ability to take care of the water monitor, I don't think that that's something you should say, nope, that's just out of my kit. And you got to remember there's let's say Celebensis, which
I was going to say that,
yeah, water monitors that only get 4 foot. So they're not 6 foot like Elvis or some of these other ones. They're a 4 foot, not if you see the size of Toothless, my Asian water monitor, the Black Dragon. I mean, Celebensis don't get much bigger than that,
which is awesome. I mean, I didn't even know that until we got Frosty.
Yeah, Frosty ended up.
I mean, because working in a place like this where you do give animals optimal room and the ability to live a great life, whether Ivy, I'd love to have Ivy as a pet.
Yeah,
but I shouldn't have Ivy unless I can do something at least as good as what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel. I feel the same with retics. This is my personal opinion, no one else's. But I feel the same with retics. I feel the same with large monitors.
Yeah.
But Celebensis, I can see myself being able to make an enclosure for that.
Yeah, they don't need giant areas because they stay small. I mean,
as long as you're bringing it out a lot and enriching it, you'll be okay.
Yeah, Frosty, the white monitor. I mean, that's full grown.
And he still looks pretty small in that enclosure. You know what I mean?
He is. Yeah, in an 8 foot enclosure, it's small.
Yeah.
I mean, he could probably get away with a 6 foot and still have plenty.
That's
of room.
what I'm saying. So that's doable. But yeah. Shalina says, "I want your shirt and a hoodie." And love it so much. Love always. Loving the new vlogs.
Which one do I even have on?
Don't pet me. They have that in a hoodie, no?
Yeah, we do have it in a hoodie. Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, you can go to reptilearmy.com.
Making dreams come true.
And get yourself a hoodie. I got to another drop for Reptile Army. It's been
a minute, right?
I dropped the Danger Noodles, a month.
Oh, we got that other one, right?
Yeah, we have
the Nopey Ropies.
Nope Rope. Yep.
And that's a good one.
So I think there's some pretty good ones in there. So I'll try to do that. I want to do 4th of July too, though. So I guess I don't know if I'll drop Nope Rope before 4th of July.
could always.
No, I probably don't. I probably want to drop 4th of July first.
Yeah.
And then do Nope Rope.
Yeah, because you're going to want to drop 4th of July
soon.
June.
Like like probably in the next week or so.
Let's do
I should
that,
probably
yeah.
reach out and see if I can drop 4th of July like in a week and a half.
Yeah.
That way people can get their stuff before the 4th of July. And then, then we'll get back to Nope Rope after that. So maybe August or something, maybe end of July, August, we'll do Nope Rope sign. But I do have to push Reptile Army a little bit harder. I've been a little lazy on it because there's been so many other things going on.
There's a lot of initiatives, yeah.
That's the hard part about doing so much, right? Is that, things sometimes fall through the cracks. And that's where, where it's like, like more team
is important.
Better, but, like I said, right now, everybody is stretched, everybody, from our animal keepers to our, filmer editors to, our social media people,
clerical.
Like everything. Like there's not a person here that isn't like, okay, I can't take on another task, and it's not because I don't want to add more people, because I do, and I have been adding people.
Yeah, it's just you need the right people. It's hard to find.
Yeah, you can't. You can't take someone and throw them on a team with Jay and Noah that are crushing it, working their butts off to do something, and have someone come in and just be lazy. Yeah. That just isn't going to work. It's just not going to work for anybody. So to have that level of like, and the same thing I think with the Reptile Army, I wish I had someone that could really push that product line.
Right.
And some other stuff that I have going on too that's kind of sitting and not doing nearly as good. Look at Reptile Prime. I can't remember the last time I shouted out Reptile Prime.
Oh, I mean, maybe a year to 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's been probably a year and a half since I shouted out Reptile Prime. And it's a great company. It's a great product. I mean, it does really well. As a matter of fact, we had 2 or 3 other iterations of bedding that we're going to launch, and I just haven't even had a chance to get in a meeting with them, so it was like 2 months ago we got some product samples and set up like, all right, let's get a meeting and let's launch these products, and I've literally just been like, I don't have time to have that meeting. So
and it's true.
So it's crazy.
Arturo came back to say, can you sex a ball python just on appearance? I'm going to say no, right?
Not an appearance, no. There's no tail difference. There's no
spur difference.
No spur difference. You can have big spurs on males. You can have big spurs on females. So yeah, no. Unfortunately, you have to avert the hemipenes
or probe, right?
Or probe. But I would suggest averting the hemipenes. But don't do it yourself. Make sure you somebody that knows what they're doing is doing it.
Yeah, I've never done it. I've always been scared to do it, so I just let an expert do it.
Yeah, and then that's it's funny. I always like some of the people here that can sex snakes besides myself and Lori. Really, I usually teach them on a corn snake because corn snakes are pretty good easy to avert. Okay. Very little pressure, and they bink. Pythons are much more difficult too, and it depends on the python. Some pythons are really difficult to sex, and so you just got to know how to do it. And if you learn on something like a corn snake, it's a lot easier. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should like create a rubber, snake that you can avert.
That's actually a great idea. Yeah,
and like just for practice.
Yeah. I think it's a great idea. I mean, niche, but great.
Yeah. How many are you going to sell of those?
37 really happy customers.
Yeah,
really happy.
Yeah. I'll have to talk to the Red Line Science folks about that. Can you make a
rubber snake that's got hemipenes in it?
Yeah, that somehow.
It's a good idea, though. Like, I mean, for the people that would need it, it's important to have,
Yeah. I got to imagine that you could do it.
Here's the thing: the egg trays.
Mm-hmm.
The same amount of people that would buy those egg trays would buy that snake. I feel like, or at least some of those people.
Yeah.
So I mean, if they can sell the egg trays,
because if you created a vent and had an inverted rubber tube, it's exactly like a hemipene.
Of course.
So if you applied the right pressure to that inverted tube, it would pop out and then go back in. I bet you could create an almost realistic hemipene popping practicer.
That's a great phrase.
Yeah. I think
Tiffany did come back to say that she goes, I have 24 Reptile Army shirts, and I can agree that the one you're wearing is not in a hoodie. So let's get it made in a hoodie.
Dang it.
Let's get it done.
Dang it, Tiffany. You're ruining dreams now, man.
Yeah, we are the dream givers, and you're the taker-awayer.
Taker of life. How do you feel about ruining someone's day?
Their entire life, dude.
No, that is a weird thing, though. I don't know why the company I work with, And it's it's partially my fault because I'm sure I could force them into it. But they don't have hoodies in every single. Like why not? Why would, if you had the design in a shirt, why would you not have it? You should have it in a V-neck. You should have it in a short sleeve, and you should have it in a hoodie.
And I mean, like, I don't know how this company works, but they're not printing. There's not 5,000 Bella shirts out of the office right now,
It's print on demand.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, who cares what it's on? Just it's a print,
Yeah, but it was weird because, like, I've talked to them about it before, and they're like, "Oh, well, we'll do hoodies in this one, not in this one." And I've always been like, "Why?" Like, I don't understand why.
Just do them all.
And just have the But I think that some of these companies like this, they don't want to give. I think they already think Reptile Army has too many options.
Right.
Like they think there's too much going on. Like that's why a lot of these companies will do the limited merch runs, right? Where it's like basically like you put out six items and they're only available for 4 weeks and then they're gone. They're never back again.
There's no
back and then you have
catalog.
6 again and then you have 6 again and then that way, like, although I was thinking with Reptile Army to making it more like a brand where it's like, hey, there's 100 options, 100 designs that you can choose from, and that's more interesting because then you can pick and choose which ones you personally want.
Exactly.
As opposed to having
everyone gets the same thing.
Everyone gets the same thing for 6 weeks and then it's gone forever. I always thought that was a weird business model, but that weirdly enough, most YouTubers do merch drops that way where they're they call them flash sales where they literally are available for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and I get it because it gives people the sense of urgency, right? When you go on a site and it's like, oh, there's 100 things and they're there forever, you'd be like, I could come back next week and buy it, and then maybe you forget to come back and buy it. Whereas if it's like, hey, it's not going to be available after Friday.
It's a collectible.
It's like, people go like, oh my God.
Sense of urgency. Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe they're right and I'm wrong. I have no idea.
Tiffany did come back to say, it's okay, I ruin a lot of days. I have that beautiful capability.
Well, we love you, Tiffany.
And Logan says, how would you treat burns on a monitor lizard? Silver sulfadizine.
Yes, silver sulfadizine is the way to go on really any
cuts, wounds, anything.
Yeah. So you can get it from a vet. It's not super cheap, but it's very effective.
Very worth it.
That's what we worked with Frosty, the white monitor. He came in with some it's decent rubs on his nose and on his chin and stuff like that. Just from the shipment from Indonesia, he rubbed himself pretty good. And literally, what we've had him for under 3 weeks, and he is literally like almost 100% healed.
He looks so good.
Yeah, I mean, he's like within a week or so, you won't even see any rub at all. That's how quick that medicine works. So it's and same thing happened with Ben and Jerry. They injured themselves again. Between rocks, they fight with the rocks and stuff like that. And we've been just putting that on every day, and it's almost 100% healed just in about a week. So that stuff is like miracle for sure.
And if God forbid you burn yourself, it's great for humans too.
Right.
So.
Yeah. But and then whatever I'm assuming the burn came from either a heat, too hot of a bulb or a heat mat that was too hot, So obviously that I can't stress enough to people to make sure that you have the proper temperatures in your gauges.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing, I'm not a big fan of like bulbs inside cages.
No, that's so scary.
You always want the bulb to be encapsulated or on top of a cage because especially monitor lizards, they'll crawl up and they'll grab that bulb and rip it down to the bottom, and you can start a fire and they'll burn themselves and stuff like that too. And then same thing with heat mats / heat rocks. You got to be careful.
They always fail hot.
They fail hot. They don't fail cold. So that's the downside.
Scary.
Yeah. So.
Which is like, how is there not a company that's made something that fails cold? Like, I just can't imagine how that's not possible. Like a surge, almost like a little surge protector.
I think that Zoom Ed, I could be completely wrong, but I think Zoom Eds actually do fail off now.
Okay, that's good.
I think that they started doing that. But I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you would think that would be like the first thing you'd think of is like, hey, let's make it not cook an animal.
Yeah, because that's been killing animals or burning animals for 25 years.
That's what I'm saying. How does that not a problem? That's a huge issue.
Maybe even longer than that, because I remember buying hot rocks for my snakes when I was like 15 years old.
Do people still use those a lot? Because I've heard like a lot of taboo-y stuff about them, hot rocks, but I haven't heard anyone use them ever since, I
don't know. I mean, when I look up hot rocks,
hot rocks.
I mean, they're probably still around, right?
I'm sure they are. I'm sure there's probably new ones. Yeah, they still do.
Zoom Ed, yep, Zoom Ed.
I mean, cool idea if it worked, you know.
And like I said, these new ones might work. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Ooh, hot massage stones. That sounds even better, right? That's
good.
where we're at.
You know, Lori actually bought me a set of those.
You put them like in the sauna, or you put them in the oven for a little bit?
They're in the box still.
Well, they're doing a lot of good in there, mister.
I have a feeling she was like, I bought these for you. Why don't you do them on my body?
Yeah, I bought them for you, for me.
Yeah, I bought these for you so you could do them on me.
I know you're going to love it.
Yeah, you're going to love making me feel good on this with these hot rocks.
It's true, though.
But I've never done it. We did one time we were in Mexico, and it's the only time I've ever done it. I did a hot rock massage.
Yeah.
It was freaking heavenly.
Was it great?
Oh. Dude, you don't even understand, man.
know.
I mean, it was like I was in like heaven.
Well, ditch the wife next time, bring me, and we'll go get a hot massage
Exactly.
together. You know
Yeah, couples massage.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, it was it was nice because there's like two types of massages, right? Like the massages I go to regularly, she kills me.
Yeah, that's more of like
painful.
almost stretching you out.
Yeah, it's like painful. It's like it's really good for you to get because it gets the toxins out of your skin, you know, your muscles.
It's great after the massage, but not so much during.
But during the massage, it's not. And then there's the like rubbing, like, ooh, this feels really good.
Yeah, that's
but
my
it's probably
kind of
not.
massage.
I think they call that a Swedish massage.
Yeah, because it ain't doing shit.
Yeah, it ain't doing nothing for you.
Yeah.
It feels really good when they're doing it, but you ain't getting, you know, there's no health benefit to it.
Yeah,
you know?
get a significant other. They'll rub your back for you.
Yeah, exactly. That's what. Yeah,
that's the real move.
Yeah.
It's more expensive though.
Yeah, exactly.
But real move.
But no, you know, the real massage is tough. I mean, they'll make you cry.
But that's good though, because then when you're done, you feel so loose, man.
Yeah. No, they get in you, and it's all about getting toxin out of your muscles and stuff like that.
So cool.
And it's all about. What is it, meridians or whatever?
I don't know. Is it about meridians?
I think that's what they call it, the meridians.
The meridian triangle, right?
Yeah, the meridian triangle. I have no idea. But anyways, anything else, guys, out there?
That's all I got for now,
That's all it's got there. We might just end early tonight, man. I mean, I got
a nice day.
I don't have a lot to talk about tonight, man.
It's okay.
You know,
it's okay.
I'm going to see if there's anything else in my Instagram feed for you guys.
Yeah, there you go. I got puppies. That's about it.
You got puppies in your Instagram
yeah,
feed?
Yeah.
Oh, the real Eric Chambers.
I just seen him too, man. He's getting more and more redneck. It's crazy. He's got a caboodle.
He's got a farm now.
Yeah, he does. He's got goats. It's official.
It's official. Gosh, right down. So, well, guys, hey, we're going to close early tonight. We
love you, though.
Yeah, love you guys. I'm going to start my Memorial weekend. Oh, we got one more real quick.
Keep talking. Yeah, I got you. And we got Habuski says, "Hey, Brian, been following your channel forever and have always wanted to tell you how cool you and your family is. Always making me laugh out loud."
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks,
I appreciate
Habuski.
it. We're trying to more than ever to make it, you know,
giggly, man.
Yeah, more comical.
Here's the thing. It's not a good vlog unless I'm crying, laughing, trying to edit it. And same with Noah. And then we come in the next day when Noah's finally seen it, and then we're giggling together about parts. That's how you know it's going to be good.
I hope you guys will like tomorrow's vlog. We just watched it literally just before we came on, and it was fun. It was really
good.
fun. It's a long vlog too. For you people that are complaining about vlogs, it's like 21 minutes long.
So yeah.
So it's
relish in it.
Yeah, it's a good long vlog, but it didn't feel like 21 minutes. It's high energy, it's high pace, and it's got a lot of fun. It's funny.
So good.
There's education in there. There's funny in there. There's it's good. I enjoyed it a lot. So I hope that you guys will enjoy it too. So anyways, guys, all right, I'm out of here, man. Love you guys. I'll see you next weekend, right?
Yep. Happy Memorial Day.
Yep. Happy Memorial Day. See ya. Bye.